go through long this the process, long swearing in, and then nominate him, na vote him, or speaker, na deputy speaker. So I'm all too barely bagarablik must take him this la time too. Long go straight him barely other side. At the back of the Parliament House, long kubu. Molly set him up all tents, long all members can go attend him lunch lo have. By me, look at him cross past them go other side na find out what's happening.
So invite all the honorable members to kindly make your way to the front of the ceremonial entrance and be seated at the allocated stage to await the arrival of the Prime Minister. I have just received message that the Prime Minister has just left residence.
So, a master of ceremony, he announced him his Prime Minister Ilusim recent na walk long, walking way long, and come now long Kubu. Whilst that is happening, all members, you walk long mingle around, or you walk long story, awaiting sole arrival, long Prime Minister, and then we can go ahead. One time, second part long program, long me, or we should say third part, because first part I'm been swearing in. Third part, second part, only a pioneer speaker, a deputy speaker, and now you go along Narplahab now, and by all those speeches. So, all members, you go along mingle around. Some play go him lunch long all, me believe, long backside, long House Parliament, long me, long Kubu, whilst long background, long front of house, long, me can harim, sampla, me been walk long harim. Some cultural activities if in Oklahoma come up. So this might still be ongoing as we await Narplahab long program. Way back up long front long house. So stop somebody long eximolo talk ikam long leaders bring me and the speaker and then the president and then the Prime Minister James Marape. Yeah, so suppose you walk long round about inside long area where activities you walk long come up. This is an important day long inauguration long 5th Bougainville House of Representatives. Me save you walk long bell Karai League, empty League. Me sure you got all SME mama you walk long Salim some like I can about around long hub. So find him one plan. Two, suppose you like looking more entertainment is at the back of at the front long side close to the highway. Yeah, all Narpla activities will long come up long. But you may walk long await him now. Arrival long Prime Minister James Marape. Usad become take part long number 3 program. Now Semi bin Harim speaker talk long and Prime Minister must lose him by Bougainville by 5 o'clock. So. Come long by long come Sol take part, congratulate him on the new plan members belonging me 45 in all, plus the president who is 46th, and then speaker, 45, all get through in 45, plus the prime speaker who's at working 46. I think by me cross go along other side.
Once again, if I can ask the honorable members to make your way to the front tent and be seated to await the arrival of the Prime Minister. Also acknowledging the arrival of the Chief Secretary of the Department of Prime Minister and NEC. Please stand as we await the arrival of the Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea, Honorable James Marape. Honorable members, to be seated on my right. Ladies and gentlemen, be seated. The Prime Minister will retire for a short break and a brief with His Excellency Honorable Ismail Toroma. Once again, I invite all the honorable members to make your way to the tent reserved for you.
Narisla Yumi Lukim now Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea, Honorable James Marape, may come up now along Parliament na emika amigo bungim President-elect Blue Yumi, Honorable Ishmael Torwama, na tupla igo bung malolo wantem lo private meeting blongol, and after that time ole come out, then by me starting this la program alongside lo speeches. Number 3 part the program also me talk by me got parade and the flag raising, and then by me go inside longolo speeches. Two, you may acknowledge him, a regional member of the Bougainville National Minister of the Police, Honorable Peter Tsamalili Jr. And to me stop one time, you me.
And of course the national anthem of Bougainville. I also invite the Bougainville Police Service, the Correctional Service, the Fire Brigade to prepare for the parade and the flag raising. Ushers, please. Ladies and gentlemen, the parade and the flag raising, we will have the students from Hahela Primary School and Huchina Secondary School to lead with the national anthem of Papua New Guinea and the Bougainville anthem. And we will also see the parade by the Bougainville Police Service, the Correctional Service, and the Fire Brigade before the ceremonial entrance, and also to witness the Guard of Honor. Following the parade and the flag raising, we will then move on to the speeches.
All right, dami mo long wait long lo line nar side long describe him event long yimi olo sumatin now long Hujena Secondary School na Hahila Primary School only walk long line up now in front of the podium or dais in front of the Bougainville House of Representative long singing two anthems long yimi national na provincial anthems and then flag raising by go ahead at the same time. National anthem walk long Ron, only walk long racing Pilak, blong Papua New Guinea. Na time Bougainville anthem walk long come up, only walk long steam and Pilak blong Bougainville and by Oli Apim. So, Emi walk long wait so long signal. May come long or Sumatini can start him national anthem, racing flag, and then provincial anthem, racing flag, belong Bougainville. Yeah, a Bougainville anthem. Me will call him provincial, but Bougainville anthem. All right. Behind long this la, me can go ahead one time. All the speeches belong me. Now, big looks have too long. All boys and girls in blue belong me. All police man Mary belong me long Bougainville Police Service. Usati part long program. All work long arrange him the flag racing belong Yumi. So big looks have long Commander North and all policeman Mary belong North. Me believe by got one parade two only walk him. Suppose time he allow, but suppose you walk long stop here long Kubu by looking house mat there.
The honorable members who have been sworn in today with a big Bougainville clap. After 2, 1, 2. One more, 1, 2. Thank you.
All this does not viewers, Yumi Woklong just awaiting the singing of the national anthem, Longimi regional Bougainville anthem, as Olo Sumatin is standby, Sumatin Blong Hujena Secondary School, and then Olo Sumatin Blong High Hill Primary School. Now this dice being carried forward, Ego along front Blong foyer podium. I think by one player something he must come up maybe guard of honor Blongolo policeman Mary, but you know looking only ready yet. They might be marching in from somewhere, but Oliver Long preparing that's all a dice I think long inspection long police parade. All leaders belonging me by walking. We may not show too much, but that's what looks like by come up. So we'll just wait and see and hear when something he walk long come up. In the meantime, Prime Minister one time President Oli walk long stop it long in private. Oli walk long talk. Discussing some of the issues, congratulating maybe Prime Minister Woklong, congratulating President, but only Woklong stop inside. That time only come our side, me believe, and by program long our side, and we start one time the flag raising and singing of anthems.
Once again, acknowledging the excellencies, distinguished parliamentarians, distinguished guests, and the people of Bougainville coming all over the region from North, Central, and South Bougainville. Thank you, and thank you for coming to witness the swearing in of the 5th Bougainville House of Representatives. Shortly, we will have the police parade. And once we have the Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea, Honorable James Marape, His Excellency Honorable Ismail Toroma, President of the Autonomous Region of Bougainville, before the ceremonial podium. Then we will begin with the national anthem of Papua New Guinea, followed by the national anthem of Bougainville.
Na iwoklon harem na luki me live lon Bougainville Parliament House, where me plawoklo bringing you live coverage blon inauguration blon fifth Bougainville House of Representatives. So you may been gotten pennies swearing in blong all members elections na now you missed up blon program long outside.
Honorable James Marape. His Excellency, Honorable Ismail Toroma, President of the Autonomous Region of Bougainville, and the Chief Justice of Papua New Guinea, Sir Gibbs Salika.
You may look him, Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea, Honorable James Marape, one-time President of Bougainville, Honorable Ismail Toroma, Molikam sit down along foyer, long outside activities, long start. You may look long all police by come out long parade, and after long parade then we have the students to sing the national anthem na Bougainville anthem. So all sumatin blon Ahela Primary School na Hujana Secondary School only sana pinis standby lon singing this tupla anthem na raising national flag, one time Bougainville flag. Now tupla leaders blayumi leader blon country Prime Minister Honorable James Marape, one time President Honorable Ismail Toroma, oli kamatsayat sit down long foyer blo official dice blo parliament na front long by got parade come up. Suppose you walk looking by parade come up where Bougainville Police Service, Correctional Services, one time a Bougainville Fire Brigade by only involved this parade and flag raising one-time anthem where all students blown Haila Primary School na Hojana Secondary School by only singing national anthem na Bougainville anthem one time. So suppose you can look him, you make a crowd come boom lo witness him display outside event by come up signifying the 5th Bougainville House of Representative. So after long parade, flag raising, one time anthem, then by me got all speeches by start one time speaker blow parliament and by giving welcome remarks behind Longem Honorable President Ishmael Torwama by giving inaugural speech Longem na Prime Minister blow Papua New Guinea Honorable James Marape and by making all congratulatory address Longem. Behind long list all the speeches, entertainment by come up, and then by Pinis blow display program blow display important day. So Yemi Oklon waiting tasol all police we barely starting display parade Bougainville Police Service, Correctional Services na Bougainville Fire Brigade where barely come walking parade here along foyer and also Martin only standby Pinis long singing now national na Bougainville anthem. Also present to witness the occasion, we have distinguished guests, invited guests from the National Parliament, from the New Zealand High Commission, the Australian High Commission, reps from the European Union, United Nations, the Japanese Embassy. We also have the invited guests from around Bougainville, our leaders and chiefs representing the people of North, Central, and South. Also our heads of department, and also not forgetting the from the national Parliament that have also joined us, traveled in with the Prime Minister's delegation. Suppose me woklon harem lo background I got this police band I woklon paira one time lo parade coming in, so we'll be seeing that live in a few minutes time when we have the Bougainville Police leading the parade into the foyer where the events are happening.
Let's give
Ladies and gentlemen, this parade consists of Bougainville Police Service, Correctional Services, and the Fire Service of Bougainville. Am I on? Want to. As we are witnessing this afternoon, the Parade Sergeant Major now has put the parade in open order in readiness for the inspection. Just before he gives the inspection, he will hand over the parade to the parade commander. We now witness the Parade Sergeant Major handing over the parade to the parade commander, Inspector General Bosvai. Ladies and gentlemen, the parade will now receive the President of the Autonomous Region of Bougainville, Honorable Ismail Turam. Ladies and gentlemen, the parade will now receive our guest of honor. He will review the parade, the Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea, Honorable James Marape. All big man Namere, please give me an up. Law Code Mem General Salute. The parade commander now invites the reviewing officer, our guest of honor, to inspect the parade. Planti Bloyemi Luki Molo Bougainville Police Service members, correctional service members, plus fire service or staff law on new play uniform. It's a very big thank you to the Honorable Member for North Bougainville, Honorable Francisca Samuso, who's been sponsoring more ceremonial dress for Bougainville Police Service. Thank you, Honorable Francisca Samuso. Ladies and gentlemen, that officially concludes the inspection. Please remain standing for the final general salute.
Ladies and gentlemen, remain standing for the national anthem of Papua New Guinea. Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated. Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea, Honorable James Marape, His Excellency, Honorable Ismail Toroma, President of the Autonomous Region of Bougainville, distinguished parliamentarians and people of Bougainville, I have the honor in inviting His Excellency, Honorable Ismail Toroma, President of the Autonomous Region of Bougainville, to come forward and do his inaugural speech. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Autonomous Region of Bougainville.
The Speaker of the Bougainville House of Representatives, the Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea, Honorable James Marape, and the Chief Justice of Papua New Guinea, Sir Justice Kila, other PNG leaders and government officials, members and ministers of the Bougainville House of Representatives, the diplomatic corps, other distinguished guests and citizens of Bougainville. It is indeed my honor to address you upon my return for a second term of the presidency. May I start by thanking the people of Bougainville for your confidence in my leadership in pursuing our common agendas for independence, economy, and good governance. May I also thank the Bougainville Electoral Commission for conducting a free, fair election on Bougainville. In my victory speech in 2000, in my victory speech in 2020, I said that winds of change has arrived, that we Bougainvilleans must be the winds of change. No one else will create a better future for us, but it is ourselves. This statement is truly true, that we must desire the need for changes at all levels of society, moving towards a better Bougainville. The directions of my leadership in the last term of the Parliament was based on the 6-point strategy. As you know, significant progress has been made on the political front, with the final hurdle remaining, and that is the tabling of the referendum result on the floor of the Papua New Guinea Parliament through the Melanesian Agreement. On the economic front, in the first 5 years of my presidency as the mining minister, I have moved Panguna into an exploration stage, and my government is now waiting for BCL to speedily progress the next phase or tell us if it is unable to operate Panguna. Some landowners, factions, supported Bougainville businessmen continue to create confusions in the mine pit. Let me remind the landowners that Bougainville customs, Panguna now belongs to the whole of Bougainville. Secured by the blood of 20,000 lives lost in war or created by the LOs and the mine. All powers and functions under administrative control agenda are available for drawdown except the sovereign powers and foreign relations. We will need to improve our ability to operationalize the drawdown powers as functions into tangible governance and development realities. The public service must improve on its performance. The measure of success of work will be judged by improvements of people's livelihood, standard of living, and not by a number of trips to Waigani. The one area that where government and public service have yet to fully appreciate is the role that civil society and private sector can play as development partners, and NGOs are doing a wonderful job attending to the needs of our vulnerable groups in health, education, income generation, and gender equality. There is a need to better align NGO service with the relevant programs of government rather than conducting programs in competition to that of the government. The private sector, in my view, needs to turn a new leaf. Currently, private sector is mainly a recipient of government tenders and pay goods and services tax through the commercial operations. Many business houses operate in Buka, Arawa, because of government presence. Any foreign business in Bougainville must seek a partnership arrangement with a local entity. My challenge for the private sector is to venture into new enterprise and broaden your reach to other Bougainville and other than Buka and Arawa. I'm happy to remind us that Bougainville now has a 30-year long-term vision of becoming high-income, educated, healthy, peaceful, Christian sovereign nation by 2052. I will further note that the administration has started reflecting on this vision in various master plans. In the new term of government, we will pursue these long-term goals and overarching Bougainville nation-building strategy that will generate all of government policy making, program design, implementation, and monitoring right across government under the Chief Secretary. Under this term of government, we will continue to increase our efforts in strengthening relations with our neighbors on social, cultural exchanges and extend scope of relationship as Bougainville progress beyond the Melanesian Agreement and in implementing the Bougainville Peace Agreement. Hindsight is a wonderful thing that it allows you to look back as you move forward. It is now 36 years since the beginning of the Bougainville crisis in 1989, 32 years since the beginning of restoration in Buka in 1993, and 24 years since the signing of the Bougainville Peace Agreement in 2001, and 20 years since the formation of the autonomous Bougainville government in 2025. After 2 decades, we are just now beginning to seriously think about development and transformation. In comparison, Rwanda under President Kagame has only taken 20 years to transform itself from a serious ethnic cleansing war to a striving progress nation, as well as Burkina Faso, as President Traoré has also quickly transformed its taking control over its economy. We in Bougainville have dwelled too much about the past, and we now need to shift the gear quickly. So how do we make this happen? At this juncture of our journey, independence, economy, and good governance are essential. But underpinning these transformations, especially in the case of Singapore, is an intellectual capability apart from leadership and good governance. We have the intellectual ability to analyze, synthesize, crystallize, and chart a way forward. An ability that captures lessons from around the world as well as our history and crystallizes it into a situation in Bougainville with Vision 2052 and nation building cannot be achieved without such intellectual capabilities to guide leadership, the bureaucracy, and the broader society. We must become a learning society. The Bougainville Peace Agreement, in hindsight, builds a slow pace of progress, perhaps anticipating a generational change in the leadership, and thereby also anticipating change in the dynamics for independence. Bougainville will disagree on many things, but there is one agenda where Bougainville will always stand as one people, and that is through independence. Let me now focus on what I have stand for in this new term of Parliament. I have campaigned to pursue the three main goals, which are political independence, economic independence, and good governance. Our journey for political independence is very clear. We have already voted for independence as provided for in the Part 14 of the Papua New Guinea Constitution. We have spent the last 3 years consulting as if we don't know about our future and the political status. The real question is whether Papua New Guinea is ready to accept the Bougainville people's choice. We expect the Melanesian Agreement and true sessional orders to be conduit through which PNG Parliament will endorse the people's choice. Bougainville must be a republic in the true sense and not a current hybrid presidential system mixed with a Westminster system of governance. The president is directly elected by the people and should not have to negotiate with ministers in exercise of this mandate. Some laws acquired through colonialism must be changed. The journey home must embrace economic independence at all levels, and the family level, the community level, and Bougainville as a whole. At this government level, my government will first of all ensure that Panguna quickly progresses to the next stage of development. I am happy to announce that the Bougainville Gold Refinery in Arawa will begin operations soon. Our aim is to build our own gold bullion that will be the foundation of our sovereign wealth. However, in the long term, Bougainville must have a broad-based economy in agriculture, fisheries, forestry, tourism, commerce, finance, banking, and so on. Land is fundamental in economic development, and my government will explore ways of bringing more customary land into commercial production. My government will also seek avenues of bringing back large plantations into productivity. Our private sector needs to be ready to take advantage of such opportunities. At the farmer level, I urge our people to continue working and growing cocoa copra. But government must do more with these crops instead of continuing to do the age-old practice of exporting raw on the note that the excellent cocoa downstream process research work by DPI at Kubu must now progress into commercial production. Overall, there is so much room for innovation. For example, with emerging cash crops and improved varieties of food crops commonly sold at the roadside market. Farmers continue to experiment, trying new crops such as vanilla balsa. We also continue to import massive amounts of protein when we should be producing some of these ourselves. Rice is the same story. Fisheries continue to be a sleeping giant, but needs to be awakened through foreign investment. If Papua New Guinea is serious about economic independence for Bougainville, then it must immediately transfer foreign investment powers and functions to the government of Bougainville. In this term of government, under the nation-building agenda, my government, through the Chief Secretary, will be setting clear directions and targets for economic sectors department to meet. We must set clear deliverables target for each ministry and heads of department. The subject of innovation brings me to intellectual property rights. Our traditional knowledge is also being sold in the national and international markets without Bougainville benefiting commercially from these innovations. During the crisis, traditional medicine became the daily prescription for all sorts of illness, even massage of muscles and healing of bones. We are abandoning this knowledge in preferred for Western medicine. Bougainville must now have an intellectual property, legal, scientific, and commercial protocols that will protect and regulate the creation, the development, and marketing of intellectual property through an appropriate entity. Economic independence cannot be achieved without skilled manpower amongst other enabling factors. Panguna will begin to ramp up soon and will require an estimate of 2,000 blue and white-collar workers. There are also other mines in the horizon. If we are not ready, we will become spectators on our own land and recreate the social economic conditions that contributed to the Bougainville crisis. Given the urgency of the situation, Education Department must wake up to this fact and take necessary steps to upscale technical, vocational education and training to address the situation. The third agenda I have campaigned on this is good governance. Governance in the foundation of any nation is concerned with institutions, systems, and processes that regulate the conduct of any nation. Institutional reforms, both in structure and functions, are necessary to ensure that administration is aligned with the Republican political system. The new Bougainville Constitution must ensure this alignment. Good governance is a fundamental to social economic transformation. We have already set the long-term vision, and that by 2052, Bougainville will become a high-income, educated, healthy, peaceful, Christian sovereign nation. Bougainville is now progressing from state buildings to nation buildings. Good governance is achieved through transparent leadership and strong institutions. Institutional strengthening must be ensured. The enactment of relevant laws and systems, but also articulate the right moral values and ethics on both the leadership levels and the public service. This year, my government will be launching a home-ground leadership training manual conceptualized to our own situation and also cultivating our own intellectual capacity in leadership training. The education curriculum is currently oriented towards formal employment in offices. The curriculum must be reformed into skills-based curriculum so that it prepares citizens for self-sustaining life in Bougainville. Our history, our way of life must also be taught in schools. Churches need to play a greater role in providing ethics, morals, and values in education. On the whole, education content needs a serious overhaul, including teacher education. Health is also an excellent job building in health facilities throughout Bougainville. A new health center was recently opened on the West Coast, while Wakunai and Arawa Buin Hospital are being built. Health department also needs to give an equal priority to primary health care so that people know how they live healthily. Community government and community developments departments also need to transform yourself because your target population do not live in Buka Town. There is so much to be done in the community level in promoting development. Good governance and strengthening cohesion, peaceful and harmonious living for transformation development, especially with the youth population. Your potential is only limited by your creativity. There is a good functional rationale for the merging of the two departments, which we will consider under this government. Population data function is currently vested in the Community Development Department. We have to look at placing it in a more appropriate location as the department of struggling to manage this function. The structural duplication of leadership between community government chairperson, constituency member needs to be streamlined. There should only be one political head for each constituency. This would also streamline resourcing matters. Gender equality needs to be pursued in a way that fits our Bougainville Christian values and not the Western values of women's rights, because Western societies are not only better despite more than 60 years of women's rights. In fact, the countries that have taught us Christianity have decayed with same-sex marriage. This is against natural and against our Christian heritage and is therefore a big taboo in Bougainville. Good governance is not just talk. We leaders lead in practicing good governance. Compliance is absolute. The public servants and citizens must follow the rules and laws of the land. Leadership must lead by example, and people will follow. Whilst on the same subject on leadership, as we all know, Bougainville crisis destroyed institutions, systems through which leadership evolved at the same time. These institutions were custom, the church and the government. This institution remains weak and has affected leadership formation in Bougainville. This is the reason why my government, under the Nation Building Program, is initiating a homegrown leadership training manual that takes into an account of our history, culture, spirituality, and leadership in curriculum. However, in real life, it is the school of hard knocks. Through the three institutions noted above, the cultivations of leadership, transparency and accountability are essential elements in practicing good governance. Leaders are answerable to the people, and the people are also answerable to the leaders through proper systems and processes for information sharing. Outside of the formal government institution, the private sector, the churches, the clan system, and the civil society organization. Churches have fundamental roles in shaping their behaviors, morals, and values of individuals who collectively form the nation. Our challenge is in making both formal and informal institutions effective and efficient, so that they are all delivering and ensuring that Bougainville is moving together as one cohesive people in the same direction. The local private sector is currently mainly depending on government financing to conduct businesses. Such a construction of roads and bridges, hospital, office, and schools. Its guest houses and conference facilities are constantly hired by government. Its supermarkets are where the public servants do their shopping. My government will be looking at a policy initiative that provides a fair go to the local businessmen and help grow the private sector. At the same time, I would encourage the private sector to better organize themselves in order to create economic and scaled to be competitive. The bulk of Bougainville citizens live in rural areas outside daily reach of government. These citizens need to be capacitated as they fend for themselves through the various civil society groupings, be it the clan, the church, the farmers group, women's group, youth groups, and so on. This is why it's important to harness civil society and the private sector in pursuing our collective development aspirations. Equitable development is also part of good governance and should not simply be seen as mere rhetoric of the global body of nations. You have to travel 5 minutes outside of Buka town to see evidence of inequality on Buka Island. One side enjoying sealed roads, cement footpaths, electricity, while the other side is still living in the 1960s like most parts of Bougainville and other parts. The ABG is the government for Bougainville and must exercise leadership to promote equitable development in such a manner that it gathers respect, obedience, and stewardship from the whole Bougainville society. This is one of the reasons my government is introducing the Bougainville Nation Building Strategy as the vehicle for moving the whole of Bougainville institutions and citizens in the same direction. Its sector and department will identify clear milestones to be delivered under subsequent master plans and MTDPs. These will be mandatory. These deliverables will be tied to the performance-oriented contracts of each head of department. Chief Secretary in the Department of Personnel Management must strictly enforce performance management of HOD. Perhaps Bougainville should learn a bit more from New Zealand Public Service, which is globally recognized for the efficiency and effectiveness. Security and law and order provides an enabling environment for economic development and the practice of good governance, enabling citizens to realize their full potential. Freedom and democracy is a double-edged sword. If you do not exercise freedom and democracy in a responsible manner, they will turn around and hurt you. The lessons are everywhere around us. Some countries have gone to the extent of limiting the freedoms and rights of a citizen for greater good. We are on the cusp of establishing a new nation, but we do not have the financial means to establish strong institutions, organizations that will secure New Bougainville. You as citizens and the best security to nation. Your good behavior as citizens will secure the safety and the prosperity of a New Bougainville. Let me take this opportunity to talk about geopolitics. In relation to Bougainville, the world was already divided into political economic alliances by the colonial powers. Today, these powers are competing for global and regional influence using trade, aid, financing, education, security, and telecommunications as the tools of influence. The regional powers have entered into a relationship and that is signed lately. Bougainville will assess for itself the merits of this arrangement. Geopolitics is not a new game. It is the rise of China and the formation of BRICS alliance that is shaking the West from its business as usual attitude. Geopolitics offers us the opportunity as well as risk as we assess ourselves what is good for us in shifting relationship beyond backyard diplomacy to the front yard diplomacy. The lessons of Panguna Mine are too devastating to continue the status quo. Honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of Bougainville, there is so much talk about because the agenda in front of us has emerged in nation is huge. I have mentioned some areas for reform in relation to this core agenda of independence, economy, and good governance. The Chief Secretary will take note of these and direct the relevant departments to take necessary actions required. Many of the reforms in systems and process will not require additional resources, but better use of existing resources. The transformation that I am advocating for under these three agendas is not difficult to achieve with your cooperation at whatever levels, roles you are playing in Bougainville society. Resources is an obvious constraint. I appeal to all of the citizens in the wider society, the private sector, the civil society, and the public service to all play your part in achieving this aspiration. And now I wish to conclude my presentations, what I intend to do in the first 100 days of my presidency. As noted above in this speech, there is plenty to do as we position ourselves to be a nation. Here is my agenda for the first 100 days: to enact constitution for an independent Bougainville, agree on a clear process, framework, and timeline for implementing Melanesian relationship, and a draft of for taking the 97.7 vote for independence into the PNG Parliament. Establish the Bougainville Nation Building Secretariat under the Chief Secretary and launch the Bougainville Nation Building Strategy. Panguna Mine secure joint venture, an arrangement and progress towards mine development plan. Bougainville Gold Refinery to start a production and enact legislation to reclaim the large plantations from absentees, landlords, and develop a strategy for developing the plantation. Fisheries to negotiate with Papua New Guinea to transfer of fisheries powers and to seek joint venture and financing. Establish Bougainville-owned cocoa export company all departments to develop revenue generation plans for the next 5 years, establish in effective HOD performance management systems, improved capacity for taxation and technical education, conduct assessment for technical vocational training, and formulate plans for increasing capacity of these institutions. Develop plan for strengthening law and order, focusing on correctional service, especially Bekut and Kuweria. Many of these priorities are not new, but because the need has been with us for a few years, the priorities will require cohesive political leadership in providing the necessary political directions for relevant departments. I urge the administration, through the Chief Secretary and the relevant HODs, to take note in the priorities for the next 100 days, as well as the broader priorities stated in my speech, undertakes the necessary tasks required to achieve all of this during the term of this government, as we head towards being a nation. Before I conclude, I would rather say we kept peace. 90 from the time we have signed the peace agreement, we have demilitarized Bougainville. Moving forward, we have to look at a stronger pathway to fulfill what has been desired by the Bougainville Peace Agreement. Peace is yours, and peace is here to stay. God bless us all.
Thank you once again, Honorable President, for your inaugural speech. Ladies and gentlemen, I now have the pleasure in inviting the Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea, Honorable James Marape, to come forward and give his congratulatory address to the people of Papua New Guinea and Bougainville.
To the President of the Autonomous Region of Bougainville, His Excellency Ismail Taroma, let me firstly congratulate you for your overwhelming re-election to the mandate that your people have given you. You kisim walk in number 2 time as President of Bougainville. Kisim Mouse, long rest of the country, I want to offer my congratulations to you and those who have been elected this time around. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Speaker Petanu, congratulations one more time. Vice President Long Bougainville, the Honorable Masat, may talk thank you all you kiss in this walk to now all the members Long House, Long Representative. I want to acknowledge the Chief Justice of our country, Chief Justice Sir Gibbs Salika. Thank you for your time and presence here in Buka, Arawa, Buka, Bougainville on this auspicious occasion. Deputy Speaker of Long National Parliament, the Honorable Connie Igwan. Thank you, Lord Yukam Stawan Temipla. Ministers of State from the National Government, Members of Parliament from Bougainville and National Government who are here, and members of the Bougainville House of Representatives, me Luksawa Long Yiplo Olkeda. All visiting friends, to our High Commissioners and members of the diplomatic family who are here, including the resident coordinator, the United Nations, Dr. Richard Howards. Thank you once again for the family of international community who are here on this important auspicious occasion. To the public servants, to the security forces who put on an excellent parade representing the security forces, who are maintaining law and order including our fire services. Let me say thank you for your service. Chief Secretary, the public service here, Bougainville Electoral Commission, and lastly but not the least, to the people, the church, the children who are here today. Today is a momentous moment. The people of Bougainville have re-elected the Toroma government into office as a mark of continuity of the work that has been started. The work that was started not just in 2020 when he came into office as the president, but more importantly, the work that we have together started since 2001 peace agreement. The Honorable Ismail Toroma is recognized as one of those still standing as a signatory to the 2001 Bougainville peace agreement. And since then, I want to say thank you and give honor and respect to leaders past. Some have fallen, including and joining thousands who have fallen, whether through the crisis or through the natural cause. They have fallen before us, including many of the great leaders of Bougainville, and of course on the Papua New Guinea side. In fact, Grand Chief Sir Michael Somare was the minister under Mekere Murata. The 2001 peace agreement was signed, and I give honor and respect to the class of 2001 peace agreement signatories, those who gone past, but those who still remain today. These shepherds the way we are making progress, especially in our construct of the shared future of Bougainville and rest of our country. I want to say thank you very much to the Bougainville people for your resilience. Before 1989, time crisis, come up yet, Bougainville was a great contributor to the union we have called Papua New Guinea today. Your resources, whether natural resource or human resource, played a big role in the foundation years of our country. The first 14 years of our country, Bougainville carried the country, and I want to say, we, rest of the country, have not forgotten the first 14 years you have carried the cause of our country. That is why I am here today. You are not a provincial government, you're a Bougainville, autonomous Bougainville government. Whatever the future holds for us, the construct of 2001 peace agreement that was transplanted into Part 14 of our nation's constitution separates us as we work side by side, hand by hand, together, you may walk by one term into that shared future that is coming ahead of us. I want to give confidence as President Toroma, you assume your office. The 2001 peace agreement, the Bougainville peace agreement, is a joint work witnessed by outside, but signed by our two people. Under the words of Bougainville people and rest of our country, we can never revisit the past. We recall the past, but we must construct a future that fully embodies the aspiration of our people. And I want to say, as the country's Prime Minister, in 2019, I had the honor of my life to allow for referendum to go ahead for Bougainville to cast your choice, whether for independence or maintaining autonomy. I received advice that Section 338 of the Constitution was not fully complied with. But my government, this Pangu-led government, knew that we must put it to the people. I was informed by credible informants, including my own Wantoks here in Bougainville, that overwhelming majority would have voted for independence. But it is not about James Marabe or any one of us leaders at that point in time, both in Wagani and the structure that Wagani holds, as well as Buka and the structure Bougainville holds. It is really for our people. And I want to say at this 5th swearing of the autonomous Bougainville government, your referendum result and aspirations is secured forever into time. In the first post referendum meeting, consistent with section 352 rather, subsection 1, that both governments, both leadership, on elected leadership as well as people leadership must consult on the referendum result. In Kokopo, Miss Senabi Wamblehead Tok Tok, as high as Mount William is, the result will stand the test of time into the future. President Toroma, I want to confess to the people, your people, that you have never wavered. You have never wavered in a continuous advocacy for Bougainville, and I want to say that part we have taken together since 2001 is a covenant secured under agreement signed and our national constitution. We will, in this term of our national parliament, progress the result to the national parliament consistent with 242, subsection 342, subsection 2 of our national constitution. I want to say to Bougainville and to the rest of the country, let us fear not the future. We have lived together in past. In between crises disturbed our people. Ours at 1975, September 16, was the most diverse nation on earth, pulled together into what we have today called Papua New Guinea. We were governed by many chiefs in their own tribal setup. Bougainville, you have many tribal authorities, likewise New Ireland, likewise Manus, likewise East and West New Britain, and the mainland. Our diversity was pulled together despite many opinions at 1975. And through that, we've come too far with the ups and downs, and I want to say, in this inauguration of the 5th House of Representatives under President Toroma once again, that the Melanesian Agreement, all our post-referendum consultations that we've made that culminated in the Melanesian Agreement will be dispensed with by my government. And I want to appeal to the people of Bougainville. This is a process that was set up in 2001. James Marape will not deviate 1 inch, 1 dot, 1 letter from the process set out. We are now going towards a time in which our two governments will meet very soon at a set up appropriate meeting place and finalize on the timetable to take the result to nation's parliament. Whatever it is as a result is presented to the national parliament through a sessional order and the deliberations are made. I appeal to Bougainvilleans as it was time before Lontumuna Yimi start before September 16, 1975. Yimi come in up tete. 1M decision, national parliament work him. But Yimi tupla site one them kiss him. Namila give him talk. Last time by Yimi stop one time also. Stop Yimi by go yet into the future. And by go yet. Suppose national parliament he make him talk. Now road ploy independent he come up close to. Then Papua New Guinea too, but not lose him you. You stop, na me stop na you stop. By me Snapyet walk side by side into the future. Suppose Papua New Guinea government he national parliament he talk my place clear yet. But none up to lose him independent aside, hold him yet. Now by me come back, now talk, make him yet because like people and me send up in his place clear. Now me like talk in conclusion. Whatever it is, me got Chief Secretary blame me along national government staff. Fully transfer him, all get up function, blow Bougainville, come back to Bougainville, now knock and hold him 1+ stop again. Including talk blong President Emi talk like him power blong fish. Me play talk Salim companies. Tasol solwara issue blong fish is awe. Fish stop blong manus emi stop blong manus or stop blong keviang. Fish emi sa swim kogam logar up too. So kind of say 1+ time me him talk picture lo imi light him up moment. 1+ soldier blong samurai emi stop blong we work moin barracks. Emsa go inside now. I'm so shooting fish. Now, speaking of Muslim, I'm see more fish through them shooting inside. Now, one time, this is samurai Ami you come lo village court. You knock and more go shooting fish lo this laham. Now court him na mi kerab em talk. You blarem mi na mi talk em talk. Minus a hook, miss a dive na shoot him. Time he dive me looking fish he come lo samurai to sol me shoot him. Fish lo you sipping me salos. I think Minister Wong and me lo thinking lo tribe lo looking fish lo Bougainville weather. Fish lo rest of the country where, but in any case, funny aside, President, we heard you, instruction has gone. I have to fulfill my word to you that you must be economically strong. That is why me give him come back 100%. Panguna companies lo you. 100%. Maski me kisim sam lo tok lo Saweman lo Bougainville lo Port Moresby. Now said the same. No can release him 100% go. Na me talk him all brothers who sablo lo Bougainville. You must send up good. Na make some money blue yet. Why ba me holding back Panguna 100% go back lo Bougainville government na you hold it. You look at lo take back PNC talk. Program me kiss him back. Me cut him. Company you stop lo 49, 51%. Rest of the country me black kiss him. 51%. Get way lo work him stop. Now me Hamas president he talk. Me somebody backside. So was mining up lo Panguna. No na one block come back long PNC government. 100% you hold him na cut him na get up in place. Look at him all line in loose long fight. Look at him all papa ground na all line stop long go long place all what I say go out long end. Me clear president he got good blood thinking. Me somebody backside left na ask him. Time me get up talk. Economy must grow past them. Me bianin is la talk. Tete. Lo 2024 for instance. Or 2025. Budget blow you over 800 million kina budget. Only 50 million kina you kiss him from within. 50 million. Less than 7%. Rest lo display. Maybe Big Papa maybe help him stop. Right maybe help him because you help him too. Maybe no pill him pen help him. Maybe must help him yet. He go yet into forever into the future. But suppose you send up yet. You must bridge him like gap from 50 million kina to raise him into that full 800 million kina and a full expenditure cap for you for 2024. That's why, Mr. President, me somebody send up one time you as me blood draw him all got a power come down before me go election of 2027. Me like him full power must come to Bougainville. When I'm working holy meat must come to you. Me blood Karam result go along parliament. Now parliament talk one him. Me somebody want to me to walk yet. Pangu party stand with you to work through the entire process until we secure a future for Bougainville that is good for all of us. In respect to preservation of rest of sovereignty I have in PNG, as well as giving respect to Bougainville as you pursue whatever it is into the future. And me like giving talk Belisi. Whether I'm Puk Treaty, me signing one them Australia, or strengthening police along Papua New Guinea, Bougainville, last time we signed an agreement one time Australia long security treaty. One black journalist asking me, this how about you deal one time Bougainville na me make you talk. Talk. Bougainville since 2001 is a demilitarized zone and will forever remain a demilitarized zone. In fact, next year, if we know place clear talk, but we put him into law that beyond into the time James Marabe stop or he go out, but no got one bla PNG Defense for soldiers or Alice Logan by going to Bougainville, Lara Bougainville stop also yet. And so me like giving belly see long people of Bougainville, like na ting blue me harem, together we must work. In conclusion, all get a function is stop yet, you may draw him down. You may draw him down. Number two, as function draw come down, me like him administration, long step up. Me no banisim. Mino Banisim, all outside line lokam halibim. That's why you may got Australian representative here. You may got United Nations representative here. You may got New Zealand representative here. Any development partner you find him, so long as I'm consistent, want a foreign policy outlook you're most welcome to pursue things that are good for the growth of Bougainville, and we look forward to giving you fullest support we can as we embrace partnership to work side by side together into the future. Last 6 years underneath long leadership me for development fund, me apply transfer him 934 million kina. in DSIP, PSIP, RDG, Kina for Kina, special support, fullest, last 6 years, 934 million Kina come on top. Longimi paying public service, paying police, paying everything. And me ask him, kind money but come here, na me am Muslim President Toroma, and me send up him talk to place clear. Money blow RDG, come place clear. And we will reconcile in our first meeting, one em long RDG, outstanding staff. And clear him, this la talk, long PM's commitment, but go long one more project. So that me like him, project was him, brother President, and me talk. Teachers college send up good, technical college send up good, housing must come place clear. All this blood, the very next meeting, you will make him place clear. National government making 1M, Bougainville government, you working 1M, regional member, you working 1M, all the open members working 1M. So you mean no misfire number, they must go straight, or target, or make him work, or get him in place. Am I right or no God? You want below this floor or no God? Thank you through, Bamibla try and make him best to the people of Bougainville. You send up strong as a president in Tok. You do your part. Me stop long wagani, but me non of Salim policeman come la yulo here. But me non of Salim army come la yulo here. In fact, me even clear him so that rest of PNG police na me no come back la you. But the PNG police na me no come back la you. Eh, meaning 1 plus something. So was heavy come up la here, you making me I wara lo most be nasta. You clear long heavy lo place. Bougainville, you're a good people. RM talk to president. You yet maintain him law and order. Rise up. Put your resources together. We will transfer all the powers back to you. And together, you could refute me and saying, we are economically strong, Mr. Prime Minister. What more you want? And I look forward to a construct that is good for Bougainville and for our country together as you work side by side, hand by hand, going forward into the future. To the people of Bougainville, Daniel chapter 2, verse 21, God for seasons and time shall place him leadership. May congratulate him beside your contest. Pada multiple leader belong current 5th assembly beliau kema penis President Toroma gives him absolute majority. Gravitate, rally behind him, work, God make clear long this appointment belong Toroma into presidency. May like Lucy Nadla text lo Bible one time yupla. Proverbs chapter 16, 1, 2, and 3 talk. Man plan, but God has the final say. Man plan, but God has the final say. One M plan, you mean work him? According to plan, na will block God, na timing block him. Or some Galatians chapter 4, verse 4, in the fullness of time, things happen. Let us cast everything you work him, kolong hamlo big pla. Na last pla, talk lo me, maintaining peace. Contest here, cross, come up, namelo, Yesu, na Satan. Fight and blow Satan. Matthew 5, verse 9, and we talk 1M. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God. I want to appeal to all of you, maintain peace, stand side by side as we work and allow your leaders to go to work. Whatever National Parliament decide is not the end of the road, because Bougainville and rest of PNG will walk side by side and together into the future. May God bless each and every one of you. I look forward to the next meeting, and I look forward to the next visit to Bougainville. Thank you too much. God bless.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, join me together. Let's give a big Bougainville clap to the Honorable Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea. 1, 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, the parade will now march off in column of route. But just before Oli march off, our Deputy Commissioner of Police, the Chief of Bougainville Police Service, will return the compliments. Thank you. if I can have those people, all this man sanap lohab, nalong dislocate, parade by match of lohab, by come lawyer, by give him last farewell, ice right lawyer, now only move out. Please call policeman Mary, clear him this lab. Thank you. Paitim big plan through long all now. Paitim plan through long all. Thank you. This is a combined Bougainville Police Service, Correctional Service, now Fire Services of Bougainville. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, you may give him big Bougainville clap. 1, 2. Na displa emi concluding program bla yumi lo displa afternoon where you may been witnessing the inauguration of the members of the 5th Bougainville House of Representatives. If I can invite the Halia Hagus SDA Mixed Choir to come forward to the ceremonial entrance. A special announcement for the delegation that have accompanied the Prime Minister. As soon as possible, if you can make your way to the airport. Thank you.
All right, mimi wog long kam now long close to finish long program here long Kubuyet where Parliament House belong mi stop long and now where you been wog long sin on one time inauguration long all members belong 5th Bougainville House of Representatives where been start long morning yet now it's all you finish him one time all main speeches come at some long president belong you long Bougainville Ismail Torwama, Honorable Ismail Torwama, now Prime Minister belong Papua New Guinea James Marape, Honorable James Marape. Now, before Prime Minister depart, one time delegation long all by sitting down watching pastime. One pla choir, ilu sa one pla choir by kamosam long all people long halia yet hagus inside long halia constituency. One pla is the choir, bali giving one pla performance long all one pla nama long all. Long pinisim day belong me. I got all some more entertainment too. He come up, he look Sam, but you may lose him now long choir pastime.
Thank you once again, Hagus SDA Mixed Choir. Ladies and gentlemen, if I can ask everyone to stand as the Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea will retire. Lonhan Solomon Dance, please be ready. You may come in, please.
All right, all listeners and all viewers right throughout Bougainville, Papua New Guinea, and the rest of the world. That ends our program as the Prime Minister retires to take the plane back home to Port Moresby. And by me pinisim program long here where you been walk long sit down one time all throughout the day. Inauguration belong all members belong 5th Bougainville House of Representatives. Start long morning coming up now, but yeah, you got sample look save lin by me game long usat how this la broadcast by me come up possible.
Thank you, Adrian. Yes, all the good all the viewers, all the listeners, when I'm happy you can stop in tune one time mipla since lon program is start the morning coming up now. Mipla talk thank you you pla all geta na mipla like acknowledge him Bougainville Parliamentary Services. Long bringing this live coverage come long Bougainville Parliament TV in partnership with the autonomous Bougainville government na NBC Bougainville one time support long national member of North Bougainville Honorable Francisca Rihanna Semoso. So when I'm happy being working stop in tin one time mipla talk thank you through thank you so much for being a part of this broadcast, and we look forward to joining you when we bring to you the next coverage of the Parliament sitting. So from us here in the chambers, it's a big thank you to all those that worked behind the scenes to make this day possible, to make the coverage of this event possible. We acknowledge the autonomous Bougainville government as well, administration, Bougainville Public Service, the people of Bougainville, the Bougainville Police Service, Correctional Services, as well as the Bougainville Fire Brigade, the students, and the general public, wherever you may have tuned in. We thank you so much for being part of this live broadcast, and we look forward to joining you in the next broadcast when we do come on.